So, who am I? Great question. My name is Marquet Curl. Yes, my name sounds French, but I am from East Texas. And yes, you do actually say the Q. So my name is Marquet Curl. I was born October the 2nd, 1972, in a small town in East Texas, Nacogdoches, Texas. I was born to two teenage parents. My mother was 16 when I was born. My dad was 17 when I was born. I guess you could say that I probably wasn't born into the ideal situation. It was an ideal situation for me. Although I was born to teenage parents, I had a very strong, loving, supportive, extended family. So therefore, out of something that most people may say could have been something that was negative, I think a lot of great things came out of that situation. Growing up, my childhood was very interesting. My parents never married. Both my parents end up getting married to other people. So I have two brothers on my mother's side and a brother and a sister on my father's side. But I grew up with my brothers on my mother's side. Grew up in a loving home. My mom was a single parent for the most of my life. Had a stepfather who was kind of in and out. He was a very, very hard worker. But by today's definition, he'd be defined as, a functional alcoholic, recreational drug user, but always had a job. So, we always, had the things that we needed, but because of the alcohol, because of the drugs, things in our household wasn't always the most pleasant. However, mom did the best that she could to try to provide us with the best things possible. I would consider myself to be a normal kid. I would consider myself to be a good kid. I played sports. I started playing baseball when I was 5 years old. I was actually very good at baseball. I played basketball. Once I got to junior high, I played football as well, and I played all those sports all the way through high school. So my upbringing was, I guess you would say, a very normal upbringing, even though we moved around a lot, based upon family circumstances with my mom, my stepfather. We sometimes lived with my grandmother, sometimes lived on our own. But no matter where we were, my mom always made sure that it was home for me and my brothers. She always made sure that we felt loved and appreciated and that we had the right values instilled in us. Although, things were chaotic at times, my mom did a great job of raising us to the very best of her abilities. Had a chance to begin to excel academically, had a chance to excel athletically, but didn't grow up with my dad based upon the circumstances of which I was born into, and my dad having another wife. I didn't get a chance to interact with my biological dad as much as I would like to growing up. Usually whenever I saw my dad, I would be at my grandparents' house to see my dad. Between my freshman and sophomore year in high school, something changed that began to change the course of my life. My freshman year in high school, our house burned down. It was a house that me and my mother and my brothers occupied. At that time, my mom made the decision to move to Austin to once again be with my first stepdad, and I didn't want to move. I had established myself academically, I had established myself athletically, so I did not want to move. I ended up moving in with my dad, who had just gone through a divorce, and my grandparents. You can imagine that, 15 years old, never lived in the house with my dad, and now live with my dad and my grandparents. It was awkward initially, but I'm thankful for the opportunity that I had to spend those years with my father. But in high school, because of some of my upbringing and some of the things that I went through, I've never done any drugs in my life. That wasn't my thing of choice to kind of relax, but I was a pretty heavy drinker. So I drank a lot in high school because I was just angry, just upset at the world, angry with just life, angry with the circumstances, angry with the situation, angry with my mother, angry with my father, and just didn't know how to process that anger. Was blessed to be able to receive a full scholarship to the University of Texas, which is an awesome thing, full academic scholarship. In 1991, after I graduated, I moved to Austin, Texas, and began my college journey at the University of Texas. My freshman year, but my senior year, actually, my father had kidney failure and had to have a kidney transplant. which kind of changed the course of life for us a little bit. So once I got to college, he wasn't able to come up and visit as often as he would like to have because his body rejected the kidney and he had to go on dialysis. So, that was a pretty trying time because, I grew up not having access to my dad like I would like to have. And then, once we kind of built our relationship and we kind of got close, his health, wasn't the greatest. But at any rate, college was good. Enjoyed myself a little bit too much my freshman year. I end up, pledging a fraternity, end up getting engaged, which, was a wonderful, part of my life. But just still felt kind of lost, still kind of felt, like something was missing, still kind of felt like just an emptiness. And I thought that, maybe, drinking would help. It didn't help. I thought maybe sleeping around with, multiple women would help. It didn't help. So in '94, I was blessed. My oldest daughter was born, which was a blessing to me because, she changed my life. She made me take life a lot more seriously. And so I began my career. Still wasn't saved. Grew up going to church, but church wasn't in me by any stretch of the imagination. So from '94 to '97, I just worked really, really hard on trying to become the best me that I could be, trying to become a better father, but still living a life that was completely lost. 1997 was a year that changed my life. In April of 1997, my father passed away at the age of 42 from complications from his second kidney transplant. That kind of messed up my world. It was a challenging time for me. A month later, May of '97, I was in a car accident. Being foolish, being young, being stupid, drinking and driving, partying, hanging out with friends, heading somewhere at 2 o'clock in the morning I had no business going, driving through campus there at Stephen F. Austin State University, lost control of my vehicle and went head on into a brick wall. Actually, it was a dorm building, 65 miles per hour, head on into the wall. Perfectly parked my truck between two trees. A little bit to the left, wrapped my truck around the tree. A little bit to the right, wrapped my truck around the tree. Kind of parked it right in between two trees. Totaled my truck, and all I got was some banged up knees, scar on my eye that's there to this very day. And that weekend changed my life. Could not get a rental car to drive back to Austin because there was no rental car places available that weekend. So I had to get a ride back with a friend, actually a fraternity brother. And on the ride back, he said, "Hey, I'd love for you to go to church with me tomorrow." And I said, "Wow, man, my dad just died, almost died in a car accident. Man, I really need to go to church." The next day, went to church, banged up knees, stitches in my eye. And that day I met my spiritual father, my overseer, Dr. Dana Carson. And that day, in May of 1997, I gave my life to Christ. I would like to say that that was the beginning of the great man that you see sitting before you. But that's just where the journey began, because from the day that I gave my life to Christ up until about 5 years later, life was kind of chaotic. I was blessed to become a father again in 2000, but went through a divorce in 2002, 2003, and probably the lowest point of my life because I felt like I failed. The one thing that I said I would never do is have my kids in a separate home from me, and wow, here I am. It messed with me a lot. And at that point in time, at the lowest point of my life, is when I really, really, really saw God's grace and really, really saw God's mercy, and was blessed to have people around me, like my pastor, Dr. Charles Moody, my pastor, my mentor, my big brother, who helped to guide me through a very dark season of my life and really helped me to get on the path that I'm on today. So 2002, 2003 was the beginning of, I'd say, the birth of the person that you see before you. So 2006 was a very, very important year for me as well. In 2006, I was blessed to be able to get married once again. And not only that I was able to get remarried, but God also blessed me with another daughter in 2006. My wife had a daughter from her first marriage, and so our family expanded in 2006 from being just me and my two daughters, but now I have three daughters and a wife. So 2006 was a very, very important year for me. It was a transformational year that allowed me to move to the next phase of my life, where I was able to be and gain a wife, and be blessed with a wife, and be blessed with another daughter. God blessed me to become a youth pastor in 2004. God blessed me to become an assistant pastor in 2008. And then I was released in 2014, become the senior pastor of my own ministry. So you're looking at a person that doesn't have it all together. You're looking at a person that has made a lot of mistakes in his past, and is going to make some mistakes in his present and in his future. But you're looking at a person who truly loves God with all of his heart. You're looking at a person that believes wholeheartedly that God has called me into the kingdom for such a time as this. What makes me any different than anyone else? I'm no different. I'm just God's sovereign choice for a time like this. My heart for the things of God is what's extremely important to me. So, who am I? You know my name. You know my title. You know what I do. Who am I? I'm a kingdom man on a kingdom mission. A kingdom man who believes that there are people out there who want to be used by God. A kingdom man who believes that God is trying to do something new and great through his people, and that old things have passed away. It's time to do things a little bit differently. The message never changes, but the methods have to change in order for us to continue to expand the kingdom. So who am I? A father. Who am I? A husband. Who am I? A leader. Who am I? Just a man who loves God.